In 5 years, other than a few specialist booksellers in capital cities, we will not see a single bookstore. They will cease to exist. That was a statement from a government minister, and that was the consensus back in 2011, but they seem to have been completely wrong. Last year alone, 422 new independent bookstores opened in the United States. That was up 31% from the previous year. There's also 70% more bookstores right now than 6 years ago. The American Booksellers Association had 1,900 members in 2019. Today it has 3,200. After 20 years of decline, bookstores seem to be roaring back. And that's despite Amazon, despite people spending more time at home, and despite a cost of living crisis. Something real is happening here, and I wanted to know what that was. The simple answer was nostalgia. People are missing physical things, vinyls, CDs, DVDs, whatever it might be. But I don't think that's it. I think we've built the most convenient shopping experience in history, and in doing so, we accidentally showed people exactly what they were giving up in return. The founder of bookshop.org put it simply: bookstores are not a high margin business, they're a high love business. That's the thesis. Today, we're going to look at 3 reasons why that seems to be occurring. The first is who this new customer actually is, and it's not who you'd expect. The second is the rise of independent bookstores and what they offer that no algorithm can replicate. And the third one is the bigger cultural shift, bigger than bookstores. If you think about the bookstore comeback, you might think it's driven by older people getting nostalgic, but you'd be wrong. The new bookstore customer is young. It's like you or me, teens, 20s, 30s, and they find these books on their phones first. Whether you use it or not, BookTok is the book corner of TikTok, and it changed reading forever, especially for young women. There's been a massive boom in romance and fantasy that started online, and it moved into stores. Books A Million is a chain with 245 locations across the US, and they've had some banger years off the back of this hype. Their senior vice president stated that they keep waiting for it to slow down, and it hasn't slowed down yet. I don't think it will. But it's not just romance. We've had a rise in manga, anime, series-based books. Everything where you know when the next volume's gonna drop has been driving repeat customers, and it's been growing faster than any other category at the moment. Customers know when it's gonna drop, so they show up. But there's a confusing thing about this. We're all discovering these things on our phones. We're getting excited on the internet, sharing with communities, and talking about things online, on YouTube or on Instagram or TikTok. But then, many of us are actually going to a physical store to buy the books, rather than buying it on Amazon or a simple ebook. Local managers are now describing their job as being curators of individual tables and shelves, all based on what was trending on social media. It's a complete flip from where things would have been sitting 10, 15 years ago. The internet didn't kill the bookstore, but for the new generation, it's kind of sent them there. Let's take a brief trip back though. It's June 21st, 2003. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix has just launched in Melbourne, and there's 2 stores that are facing each other across the same streets. On one side, we've got Readings, an independent bookstore. On the other, we've got Borders, a massive American chain selling the exact same book at half the price. On that day, more than 1,000 customers chose not to cross the road. They paid full price at Readings. A lot of people couldn't understand it. As one person put it, why would someone pay full price for a book when you could get it for half the price? What is going on? And that's valid. But what was going on was loyalty, real loyalty. Borders ended up going bankrupt in 2011, and Readings is the bookstore I still go to with my wife on the weekends. Because what a good independent bookstore actually is, it's somewhere you want to be. It's somewhere you want to go on that Saturday morning. You might grab a coffee, you might wander through, you might have a look at those tables that the staff have curated, you might pick something up that you didn't know you needed. I know for me, I never walk into these bookstores expecting to buy something, but we always walk out with something. There's also something called the halo effect of indie bookstores. A good independent bookstore doesn't just serve its customers, it benefits the whole neighborhood and community. People who come in for books are going to stop by for lunch, they're going to grab a coffee, they might even watch a movie nearby. So the bookstore isn't just a normal retail store, it's kind of a magnet, it's kind of a different kind of place. And that's something that Amazon cannot replicate. There's a question worth asking here though. Bookstores have been rising, and why would anyone open one? The margins are brutal, the hours are long, and you can almost certainly make more money by doing something else. But the answer there is passion. The people who are opening these independent bookstores and the people who work in them are there because they love books, and that's it. That's the entire business model. As it turns out, in a world drowning in content and AI mess at the moment, passion from an individual is working wonders. The CEO of Book People in Australia described it this way: when people are coming into an independent bookstore, they're excited by the service. It is special. It's not simply transactional. It's an exchange of information, knowledge, and experience. Think about what this means today. You can find any book ever written in 30 seconds on Amazon or by a quick Google search. And the algorithm may even recommend you 17 more. But none of these recommendations come from someone who stayed up all night finishing that book and couldn't stop thinking about it for days. They came from an algorithm. Independent bookstores can identify these micro trends as well before publishers even notice them. RJ Julia Booksellers in Connecticut described it perfectly. Their job is to sell 200 to 500 copies of a book before it becomes a bestseller. The idea is they're trying to make these unknown books become big in the first place, not just ship as much of the popular books as they can. Like many others, during the pandemic, they made some changes. They narrowed their inventory, they deep dived on titles the staff believed in that may not have been so popular. And it worked. And they've got a cult following who goes there all the time. In a world where everything is available, curation from someone you trust is a scarce thing. The bookstore seems to have figured that out before the rest of retail has. But I do want to be honest, because this isn't a feel-good, everything's perfect fairy tale. In Australia, the number of bookstores has actually declined every single year from 2018 to 2023. And anytime I see a hardcover book, it's incredibly expensive, and others are noticing the same thing. I haven't seen one less than $50, I swear. It's brutal. This means that many stores are still closing. And there's also a decline in reading from young men, but there's still an opportunity there. You should go support your local bookstore. The weird thing though is that there's more books being published than ever before. But frankly, a lot of it is AI slop and nonsense, which makes it harder for any individual title to get attention. But the distinction here is that all these stores aren't closing because of Amazon, they're closing because they never figured out what they actually were. The ones that know and the ones that build a community, they're curated, they have trust, they're the ones that are thriving. They have loyalty. The old bookstore is dead and it's been replaced by something entirely different. So let's go back to the beginning there. We were told that bookstores would be gone by 2016, and in a way, the old version of them is. The version that tried to compete with Amazon and the internet on price and convenience, that was a battle they were never going to win. But along the way, we lost something we didn't have a name for. The stranger's recommendation, the ambience, the community, the third space that wasn't your home or your office. That accidental discovery you get when you're in a physical store. Andy Hunter, the founder of bookshop.org, said this: people are really galvanizing around bookstores as a force for good in our culture. And I believe that. Not because bookstores are special, but because they're one of the last places that still operate on the assumption that you deserve a human experience. The question I keep coming back to though, it's if this is happening with bookstores, what else have we over-optimized and quietly are starting to want back? I'd love to know your experience with your local independent bookstore. Let me know down below and subscribe for more videos.